Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today I've got the good fortune to be with Lisa Levy from Future-Proofing Cubed and from her fantastic business, Lcubed Consulting. Lisa, thanks so much for joining us.
Seth, so thank you so much for the opportunity.
Our pleasure. Let's go back in time a little bit. How did you get started?
This journey, my entrepreneurial journey, started about 16 years ago. I was working for a company that was my dream job. It was pre-IPO. Everything was set to go. And I hated going to work every day. I cried as I was driving to work, so incredibly miserable because I had been set up to fail. I was supporting an executive team, and each executive had a team of consultants supporting them to drive one outcome, their bonus payout. I was there to ensure that as a cross-functional leadership team would drive this business into the future, and they would not give me the opportunity to do what I was there to do. And I said, enough is enough. I had what I like to call my adult temper tantrum. While I was not sitting on the ground flailing, in my head, trust me, I was arms, legs, the whole 9 yards. And I said, I can do this better. And I made an impulsive decision and leapt feet first into an entrepreneurial journey to create a consulting model that would rival, no, it wouldn't rival, it would displace the Big Four approach because my focus was on the results of my clients, not the bottom line of my business.
All right. So out of that adult temper tantrum, I love that that description, by the way. What core values or beliefs emerged that kind of guide your work today?
So the core values that came out of that is the belief that I hold true that every leadership team should be empowering self-reliant leaders. If we are hiring people into our businesses, we're hiring them because of their skills and their capabilities, and we should let them do what we hire them to do. Above and beyond that is a belief and a value that I hold so incredibly strong that everybody on my team understands that if the work we do day in and day out inside of our businesses does not drive a value to our end customers, we're doing something terribly wrong. And so everything that we do in my business with my team for our clients is about putting customers at the center of the universe so that we're making decisions that drive value to their outcomes.
That makes a lot of sense. So you talked about displacing, doing things differently than the Big Four. What differentiates your adaptive transformation framework from traditional change frameworks?
Okay, so the first piece of that is that there's absolutely nothing different. It's what we do with the pieces that's unique. I didn't create something new and fabulous, but I am making what already exists so much better. And the key behind that is it's project management, it's process management, it's organizational change, but it's done across all functions so that every person understands how to lead work, how to embrace uncertainty and step into change, and how to ask the question, why? And if the answer isn't because we're driving value to our customers, they're safe to say this is BS.
Wow. All right. So that's impressive. And I love that, you've got the different pillars or the boxes, depending on which consulting firm you're talking about. So how do you help teams shift from like their siloed thinking to that cross-functional collaboration you're kind of famous for?
So the thing that we use to do this is a really simple process that I call an innovation engine. And it's something that every business should do. Every individual could do this for themselves by themselves if they chose to, but it's a three-step process. It's about creating lots of ideas, big, obnoxious, crazy ideas, and figuring out then which ones they want to take into step two and to conference room prototype, to do a thought experiment to say, what would it take to make this actually happen? And as they qualify some of those that could actually happen, we go into step three, where we're actually going to experiment with that idea and figure out what it would really truly take. So we're going to talk to customers. We're going to talk to previous customers who may have been dissatisfied with our products or services, because they're going to give us the real. And we're going to figure out on a cadence, quarterly, semi-annually, whatever that is, in some cases monthly, where we're going to take those experiments and invest into the future of our business. The innovation engine itself is a thought experiment. It is a little bit of time and a little bit of energy. We're not talking about hard dollars until we find the one, right? The one is the one. And at any point in this process, if we're getting results that we don't like, we stop. We've learned that this isn't going to work, and that's okay, because we've learned it's not going to work. We wouldn't know that if we didn't try. So everything about the innovation engine is embracing uncertainty, stepping into what's possible rather than what's not possible, and taking things that we learn work well, leveraging them, doing more of it. And if it doesn't, we stop fast and we move on to the next thing. Every business should do this every day.
I love that. And you got to get your reps in every single day. Um, in your experience, because you've worked with companies in different sizes, what are the inflection points, whether it's like a revenue metric, like, hey, we went from 1 to 5 million, 5 to 10, et cetera. What are some of those inflection points that trigger the need for revision of our strategy or our process? When do they break, and when do we know that, hey, we got to up level ourselves?
I think that, and I'm going to answer this without talking about metrics. Metrics are critical. We all should know our numbers. But the inflection points that you're actually asking about are the things where owners, founders, CEOs, COOs, directors of large parts of and divisions, they're losing sleep at night because they're solving the same problem over and over again. They make a change, and 6 months later, everything is reverted back to the way that it was before. These are moments in time where we're exhausted, we're frustrated. The numbers, trust me, represent all of that. But as a leader, in trying to understand when that moment is, it's when you're frustrated. Those are the critical moments where you have to stop and look around and go, what are we doing that is so unproductive? Because if we're running like rats on the wheel, right, we are not making the results. We are not achieving what we want to do. I don't care. I don't like hustle culture. I don't think that that is the approach that drives growth and scale. I like people who can shortcut into I can get the same results that Seth gets with half the effort and half the energy. And then I can get more results than Seth gets with, a little bit more of my effort and energy. I like people who find the shortcuts because they get rid of the wasted time, effort, and energy.
You mentioned the rats on the wheel, which is an excellent metaphor.
Yeah.
What are some of the most common mistakes you see leaders making when growing the business beyond just the founder-led phase? And now we've got a leadership team. And, how do you help us course correct?
So that obstacle that I think that you're hinting at is that point in time when the founder is no longer in the position to be the best leader. And that is a moment of incredibly painful self-awareness. And a lot of people don't have that moment. It is about making sure that you have a team around you who can do the things that they were hired to do, going back to my earlier point. And that self-reliance in leadership is a huge part of the work that we do, because it lets a founder, a CEO, think forward strategically into the next product, the next service. It might be the next business, because there's a leadership team who can run the day-to-day operations. It's knowing when to split from trying to do everything, because nobody can do everything.
Amen to that. You've mentioned a couple times putting the customer at the center of business decisions. So, what are some of the effective feedback loops that you're using to ensure alignment and insight and stuff?
Focus groups, it's old school, but bringing people together in a Zoom and asking questions, going out if you have the ability to be feet on the street and talking to people. If you sell a retail product, having the secret shopper experience, having people out listening. And then inside of your business, if it's large enough that you have a contact center, listen to the recordings, listen to what people are saying, and by all means, listen to the service agents that are dealing with those people every day, because I promise their insights are 90% accurate. And as a leader and a leadership team, your insights onto the customer are about 10% accurate.
Wow, that's funny and sad at the same time. You talk about innovation as this systematic experiment, prototype, learn type of cycle. How do you get organizations to do that if they're traditionally risk averse?
So start small, do it in a controlled, in a small space, and grow it over time, because it will grow fast because with wins, right? It's some of these innovations, and we think of innovations and we think about scientific leaps forward, technology leaps forward. Internal innovation is process effectiveness. It's ongoing continuous improvement. And these are things that aren't sexy to talk about, but if we call them innovation, they're a lot more fun to play with. But they are things that every employee inside of every business has a handful of ideas that if they were given the opportunity to make a positive difference, they absolutely could. So start small, build on the success, and people will want to participate. Now, leaders, this means you have to get your hands out of it and let the ideas start at the bottom, bubble their way up through that thought experiment to that handful that might require an actual investment in time and money, where it's a sanctioned project. That's when leadership comes into play, and not before. And the goal is to support the experiment, not to say no, 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 no.
That makes a lot of sense. You talk about using storytelling as a connection tool. How do you do that?
Well, everybody has been on a journey. We have all had experiences that have blown up in our face. I love to talk about my entrepreneurial journey as being a roller coaster ride from hell. And right before I had that moment of my adult temper tantrum, I was standing in the parking lot in Tempe, Arizona, in front of this gorgeous brand new building where everything was so fantastic. And as the light was glistening off of the building, all I could see and hear was that roller coaster, chunka, 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 chunka. And all I knew was I could not get back on. So that's a really bad abbreviation of that story. But right, that moment, even you giggled, right? There's a, oh yeah, the loop to loops. They make me nauseous just thinking about the crazy decisions that were made day in and day out, and they were stupid. And in this case, stupid is STOOOOPID, because oh my God, why were we making those decisions? But when we tell a story, and especially one where things didn't go the way we wanted them to, that's where we make a connection and people go, oh God, I've done that. I love to talk about a lesson that I learned with my stepson early in our journey together. He randomly one day said he wanted to jump out of an airplane, and I randomly said, "Hey, that sounds like a great idea." He wanted to do it when he turned 21, and so I had years to try and say, "Oh, not yes, I'm there, I'm in it, I'm in it, I'm in it," until the day finally came, and I was like, "Dude, you're a legal adult. You don't need me to do this." And he looked at me and he said, "Lisa, I want to do it with you so that when we land back on the ground, we can have a shot of tequila and celebrate what we just experienced." So that was a 5-year journey with him where I learned the importance of making a commitment and honoring the commitment. And I would tell anybody, it is a great thing. Jump out of a perfectly good airplane. Everybody should do it.
Well, we're certainly not giving legal advice on this podcast. What inspired you to write the book Future Proofing Cubed?
Future Proofing Cubed was written. It was before the pandemic. It released in the middle of May of 2020 to great success because people were actually had the time to read. And it takes you through the journey of what the adaptive transformation framework is and the things that I've talked about today, how to use them in your business. And it really was just an opportunity for me to say, look, we've been doing this. It works. It can work for you. And if it's interesting, you can always reach out and learn more from us. But it was there just to, and it tells their stories. We interviewed lots of leaders who have shared and been on their own journeys. Not necessarily as our clients, but they had the experiences that support why the adaptive framework works. And so it's actually proving the point without them being our clients. And that was kind of fun for me to see it from a different perspective.
You've helped so many other businesses achieve success. What's your biggest challenge now?
My biggest challenge is when I started the company, I already told you, right? I had no plan, I just did it. And at 16 years in, what is the company going to be? I never did some of the thought work that you should always do. Cautionary tale, have a plan before you start a business. And what is it going to be? And what does that exit look like? And is it actually something that has legs beyond me? And that is a fantastic journey that we're just starting.
Well, congratulations on that. Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
I love the moments when my clients have the aha and they go, oh, this stuff really works. And it's because they have clients who are giving them, or customers who are giving them, the positive feedback and the praise that what they're doing really works.
Well, that is awesome. We know your time is greatly valuable. We appreciate you spending some of it with us. For our viewers and listeners, where can they go to learn more about you, and where can they learn more to go to get the book?
The book is available on Amazon. The easiest way to find me is on LinkedIn. I'm Lisa L. Levy. The L just makes it, the middle initial makes it easier to find me, Levy, Levy. If you're interested in anything we've talked about, direct message me in LinkedIn, just the word innovation, and I will share with you the Innovation Engine blueprint. And if that means something and is meaningful to you, I'm happy to have an innovation clarity call with you following that.
Awesome. Well, we greatly appreciate it. This has been Seth Greene with Lisa Levy. Thank you, everybody, for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.